Hello, my lovelies. It is time for my July Wheel of TBR, so stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Wheel of TBR is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. The way this one works is I spin my wheel a base of 5 times. Each time I land on one, I do whatever, like you pick a book based on whatever the prompt is, and then I replace the prompt, and I also mark on the board. So once there are 5 marks on one slice, then I have to do a bonus spin added to my base spins. So before we get into the spins for July, let's look back and see how I did for June. So when I filmed my June Wheel of TBR, I had 2 books that I hadn't finished at that point that I said if I didn't finish in May, I would read in June. That was Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies and Bonded by Thorns. I did complete both of those. For my June spins, the first one I had was Out of Comfort Zone, and for that one I was to read The White Queen by Philippa Gregory, and I have not read it and I'm not rolling that one over, so I am going to take a punishment spin. The way the punishment spins work is I just spin the wheel and I add a mark to whatever slice it lands on. If by chance it lands on one that already has 4 marks, then I have to add one to my base spins. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin for that one. So this one had 2 on it, adding a 3rd. For new author, I was to read The Never List. I forget who the author is, but I did read that. For pet pick, Einstein selected The Truth About Melody Brown, and I did read that. For my coffee patron pick, I was to read A Stormfront by Jim Butcher, I believe his name is. I have not yet read that, but I will be reading it, so I'm not taking a punishment spin for that. So if I don't complete it in June, I will roll it over to July. For my first bonus spin, I landed on a readathon, and I was to read The Cat Who Came In Off the Roof, and I did read that. And for my next bonus spin, I got Hoopla Wreck, and for that one, I was to read The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, and I have not read that one, and I am going to take another punishment spin for it. So that landed on nonfiction, and there are no marks on that one at this point. Okay, so let me go through a few of the things that I need to try to read this month. So if you watched my Have I Read It number 95, which was the only one that I did for this month, which is another one of my TBR games, and that one's one that you get to actually vote for which books. So in that, I had 15 unread books, so I had to pick the top 2 voted books. So in first place with 11 votes, I'm going to be reading A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And in second place with 9 votes, I'll be reading The Black Flamingo by Dean Otta. So if I can fit those into something, yay. Next we have a Buzzwordathon. So the buzzword is punctuation. It needs some kind of punctuation in the title. For the cover, that's something technology. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And with those, you can either do them as individual ones or find a book that fits both of those things. For TBR Knockout, the theme is Summertime Blues. With this, you can do one or the other, or you can combine them. So the first prompt is blue on the cover, and the second prompt is a book you think will make you cry. And then for my coffee patrons, my book buddy of the month selects the buddy read as well as a required read for me. And our buddy read for July is going to be A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, and my required read is going to be Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood. So I need to try to find things for those buzzword and TBR knockout prompts, and also try to fit the other things in my wheel. So if you notice, I'm in a different location than I normally would be filming this, and that is because in here, this shelf and the stacks beside it, these are my These Books Will Self-Destruct books, and I'm coming up on the end of my time to be able to get these done. So my plan is to try it to fit the spins that I have to do. Try to fit these prompts to books from here, because I would like to try to, other than the ones that I have to read from my Have I Read It and my coffee patrons, I'd like to try to only read books from here this month. So we'll see. Oh, also, as far as my base spins go, one of the other games that I play is called Better Book It. I'll link that up here. If I win my round of Better Book It, then I get to take a base spin off of my wheel spins. If I lose, I have to add a base spin. And this time around, I did win. Yay. So that means I only have 4 base spins to get started here. I do also have TBR Trail like every month. And so I have a list of prompts for that, which I need to go grab, that I'd like to try to fit into this as well. But I will tell you which books that I'm picking for TBR Trail once I finish with my wheel. And I am on Team Azray for TBR Trail. Go little fairies. All right, let's get started with spin number 1. Have I read it? Okay, that's kind of perfect. So my Have I Read It extras really would be this shelf here. But Have I Read It is the Have I Read It's I need to do currently. So for my first spin, I'm selecting A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This says, an extraordinary novel of love, loss, and hope. The monster has come calling for Connor, and it wants the most dangerous thing of all. It wants the truth. Inspired by the final story idea of writer Saban Dowd, and now a captivating film distributed by Focus Features, Patrick Ness's award-winning novel is a heartbreaking tale of mischief, healing, and above all, the courage it takes to survive. Okay, so we're going to mark that, which gives 2 marks on this slice. And we will replace Have I Read It with number in the title. That's pretty self-explanatory. All right, spin number 2. Book that involves a game. Okay. Let me see what I have back here that might involve a game. Sorry if the angle has changed, but Einstein just bumped into my tripod. Okay, so none of these books involve a game. So that's unfortunate. And I don't think Black Flamingo or Study in Drowning or Problematic Summer Reading is going to also involve a game. So I'm going to go upstairs and see what I can find, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in June, the group book for Camp Season-a-thon was The Savior's Champion, and that involves a game. And I want to continue the series, so I'm going to be reading The Savior's Sister by Jenna Morrissey. And if you don't know, The Savior's Champion is a deadly competition to become the Savior's Champion and get to marry the Savior. And it is brutal, and it's such a fun read. So I'm looking forward to continuing this. Okay, so let's mark this, and we'll replace this with Buzzword. All right, spin number 3. Adaptation. Oh, A Monster Calls would have worked for that. Is anything here an adaptation? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, wait. I can read this graphic novel. It's the complete series of Spike. And this follows the show Angel. So it says, Spike is out on his own, away from Angel's watchful eye, and in charge of his own destiny. Old flames and new challenges arise as Spike faces a crazed killer, Wolfram and a heart, and the consequences of having a soul. Okay, so yay, I did get something off this shelf so far. All right, mark that. And we will replace adaptation with Goodreads. So far, no bonus spins. I might be speaking too soon. Unless I get a bonus spin on this spin, this will be the final spin. Okay, spin number 4. Gifted. Ooh. Hold on. I need to check to see where this falls in the series. Hold on. Okay, so I was thinking of, I was just gifted, if you watched my Better Book It video, I was gifted a graphic novel by Stephanie, and unfortunately I can't read that one just yet because I have to read 2 others before that. So I'm gonna have to find something else that was gifted to me. That's tricky because I don't get gifted a lot of things. Though I know when I was doing my most recent Have I Read It, that you'll be seeing in the future. Like that might be, it might be the very next video, I don't know. Some of the books in that video were things that were gifted to me. Alright, this is going to take me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so if you watch the Have I Read It that's coming up, which I think it's literally the next video you'll see, there was like a stack of books that had been gifted to me, and I picked one of those. So if you watch it, this is one you don't have to vote for because I'm already going to be reading it, and that is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. And this is gifted to me from Sterling, who, if you remember Clint from Reed's Readers, or Reed's Reads, yeah, Reed's Readers, Sterling was at the time his fiance, now his husband, and he gifted this to me. Okay, so let's mark this. No bonus spins this time. Awesome. We'll replace gifted with a reread. I was really trying to get books from here, and I literally got one graphic novel. Okay, so for Have I Read It, I got A Monster Calls, a book that involves a game. I have The Savior's Sister. An adaptation, I have Spike. And for gifted, I have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. But now I need to go and figure out what I'm going to do for all of those other prompts, as well as for TBR Trail. So I will be right back with that. Okay, I had to have a seat on the couch while I figured all this out, and I've had to add a few books. So first off, I had to write my book buddy of the month and ask her about a swap, or if she wanted me to read 2 things. Because Problematic Summer Reading is the sequel to Not in Love, and I haven't read this yet, so I asked her if she wanted me to switch to this or did she want me to read both, and she said to just switch to this. So that's what I'm going to be reading for that. Then for Buzzword, for punctuation, I'm going to read Sex, Murder, and a Double Latte, because it does have a comma, and this did come off of the self-destruct shelf. And then for technology, I'm going to read The Future of Another Timeline. It's got a clock on it, and that counts as technology. For TBR Knockout, blue on the cover, I'm going with this because there's a lot of blue there. And for Make You Cry, A Monster Calls. For TBR Trail, I'm going to skip the first prompt for just a moment because I'm going to do that live with you over there on the shelf. For the second prompt, it says, read a book you've been meaning to read for a long time. All of those books count, so I'm just going to count Spike for that one, that graphic novel. Read a book that has UFOs, aliens, or space travel. I'll be reading The Future of Another Timeline because, well, it says space travel. This is time travel. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out a different thing for that. I'll put it up on the screen, whatever it is that I end up selecting for that one, since I read that wrong. Then we have, for food on the cover, I'm going to read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires because there are peaches on the cover. For free pick, literally anything could count, so I'm just going to put in whatever. Honestly, I've already completed that prompt, so it doesn't matter. And then for hardcover, The Black Flamingo. I can say I already completed that prompt because this round started a few days ago as of filming this, and it doesn't go like from the first to the end of the month. It's like maybe a week before the end of the month to like a week before the end of the next month, something like that. Okay, so now for Randomize Your TBR. So I counted all the books on the self-destruct shelf as well as the stacks below it, and there are 58 books. So I'm getting a random number generator between 1 and 58. 26, like smack in the middle almost. All right, let's go count and see what it'll be. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Not Even Bones. So I will be reading Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer for this one. Okay. So that is my full TBR. It's quite it started out quite small, but grew to be quite large. Have you read any of these books? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!